behind the line. Match starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off and running as 41-12 moves towards the reef. They come off of the starting point. That's worth 3 points. They're trying to release that coral onto the top of their reef. That would have been worth 7 points for them, as the Blue Alliance has done. 16-48 at the reef. They've come off of the starting point. Is it 16-6 in favor of the Blue Alliance right now? The Red Alliance 41-88, the Columbus Space Program pulling that algae off of the reef, as 16-48 the G3 robotics team placing coral high atop the reef. 41-12. Shakashan dropping their coral down to the bottom of the ocean. 41-88 the Columbus Space Program with Lyra pulling the algae off of the reef. They've got it in their possession. What are they going to do with it? They're raising their arm high above the ocean waves, but the waves was too rough and knocked the algae out of their possession, as 90-86 the Wildcat robotics team. And Tomato placing that coral high atop the reef. If they can do that successfully, another 5 points for the Blue Alliance. 16-48 G3 on the other side did the same thing. 90-86 up on that slippery algae. They're going to have a hard time getting off of that as they're slipping and sliding around. Their teammate 16-829 Ignite Robotics trying to help them get away from that algae. They're slipping and sliding on that algae, as 41-88 the Columbus Space Program launches one into the net high atop the barge. 90-86 still struggling with that algae and the currents underneath the ocean, at the floor of the ocean there, as 41-88 places another one high atop the barge in the net. 41-12 the Eagle Bots have one piece of coral in their possession. It drops to the ocean floor, as 8100 the Grayson robotics team at the coral zone collecting that coral from the human player on the barge down the chute to the bottom of the ocean. There goes 41-88 one more time and launching it into the barge net on top, as 16-48 struggles with the coral reef and a piece of coral that was in their way. They now move away. Looks like they're going to try to gap some algae, but we'll just have to keep an eye on them, see what happens, as the Columbus Space Program places another piece of coral, places another piece of algae into the net. It's now 51-51, all tied up with 20 seconds left to go, as we're down to the end game. A lot of points can be scored in the end game if they do it properly, or not properly. If their strategy is to use the deeply anchored cages, they can gain 36 maximum points, as 16-48 using the deeply anchored cage coming up off the floor could be worth 12 points, as 41-88 that slippery algae slides out of their possession, but they're parked underneath the barge. That'll be worth 2 points. Coming out of the end of that match, it was 60-55. However, 16-48 the G3 robotics could gain 12 points, and also they could gain a ranking point if they're successful in that raise from the bottom floor, ascending to the ocean top. If they can get those points with the other two bots, that'll be a ranking point for the Blue Alliance. But we'll have to see when the fish are released. So far in the matches, the Red Alliance is swimming strong. The Blue Alliance now trying to gain a victory and put some of their fish onto the reef. All right, here we go. And it was the Blue Alliance victorious in that match, as their fish swim strongly on the reef with a score of 71-62. And yes, they did gain the barge points for climbing up off of the ocean floor using that cage. They also gained the ranking point, the Blue Alliance, for scoring at least one piece of coral and having all of their bots move in autonomous.